So now we can start putting together all of these different concepts we've been talking about with graphs, with increasing and decreasing, and how things curve, and extrema, and throwing it all into one big pot and making the connections between all of these. Uh, and for this first video, the first video is actually going to be pretty quick. The idea of increasing and decreasing, because we've already talked about this when we were learning how to find extrema. And the idea of this is increasing, decreasing is when does a function go up, when does it go down, graphically. So a function is increasing when its first derivative is positive, and a function is decreasing when its first derivative is negative. So if I want to do this, to find where a function f is increasing or decreasing, I need its first derivative. And then I need to know where's that positive or negative. Well, this is where the idea of critical points come in, because for the first derivative to change between positive and negative, it's either going to have to be 0 or undefined at the place where it changes. So I'm going to find my critical points. So for f prime of x equals 0, 3x squared minus 4 would equal 0, which means x would be plus or minus the square root of 4/3. And for f prime of x to be undefined, well, the derivative, this first derivative is a quadratic, so it is never undefined. And then the easiest thing to do is to make a sign chart. So here's negative square root of 4/3. Here's positive square root of 4/3. And this is for f prime. So I pick a number less than the negative square root of 4/3, like -2. If I plug that in, I get a positive in the first derivative, plugging it into the first derivative. Zeros between, plug that into the first derivative, I get a negative. Something bigger than the square root of 4/3, like +2, and f prime is positive. So I can say that f is increasing on the intervals from -infinity to negative square root of 4/3, and from the positive square root of 4/3 to positive infinity. And then f is decreasing on the interval from negative square root of 4/3 to the positive square root of 4/3.